Renee was backstage giving us a rundown about this upcoming AEW tonight when she was interrupted by a honking car. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Unknown Emperor, and this is AEW Review. We've soon got the answer for the honking car because when we zoomed to Dynamite and it's in its official opening, we got hit with a music that I didn't personally recognize, but then it started shouting CEO, and we got a debuting Mercedes Mone. She is now all elite. Mercedes Mone is the former Sasha Banks, and she came out to the Boston crowd. The Boston crowd was letting her have it as far as this is her hometown. She was getting cheered out of this world, and you can see it on her face. She was enjoying every second of it. She got echoed. I mean, it was echoing "Welcome Home" and CEO chants, and you couldn't help but see the happiness on her face. She basically gave like a little rundown about how we have been supporting her for the past 2 years. She was tearing up. She was letting us know that she has a lot of unfinished business, especially with Willow Nightingale, who ironically is in the main event. And yeah, Mercedes Mone is now all elite. It really didn't necessarily take too long for her to get a lot of cheers and to get the crowd behind her. She also name dropped Eddie Guerrero as an inspiration for her. I'm already loving it, the energy she came in, possibly because it was in Boston, her hometown, but I am loving every second of her being here. And so at the end, she said that she doesn't have any. She's not finished with Willow, and that she is now all elite. And then we saw the graphic, and then she left. But it was a great opening segment to AEW. Mercedes Mone is now all elite. I'm ready to see every bit of potential matches she can have. Her and Toni Storm, her and Julia Hart. All these great matches that she could have, her versus Britt Baker, because she did the CEO, obviously that might play into something later on. But great opening segment to AEW. I can't really hate this move. I appreciate it. It's good for business. Then we had Samoa Joe backstage, and he was going in on Wardlow. He was going crazy. He was just spitting fire. Every time he touched the mic, he said, he be touching fire. He says that he doesn't forget the debts that need to be paid because Wardlow, worked them when they last fought. And he also said that he doesn't lose championships in the Garden. He wasn't lying. He wasn't lying. But then that led us into a video package from Adam Cole, basically hyping up Wardlow, claiming that Wardlow was going to win the title. He lied. But both of these little vignettes was able to segue us into our AEW Championship match between Samoa Joe and Wardlow. Right off the bat, Wardlow was able to get the jump on Joe. He attacked him essentially before the bell rung, and he was working Joe, at least for the first couple of minutes of the match. He was able to basically toss Samoa Joe around. He was throwing him into the barricade. He was throwing him into the steel steps. He was able to hit a spine buster for the 1-2 kick out. Wardlow was then on the defensive. Samoa Joe was getting some offense back in. He was hitting chops. He was hitting spine busters of his own, I think he called a Manhattan driver, that little knee thing that he popped up. But until Wardlow was able to hit this amazing moonsault off the top rope, it was great. If you go back and watch it, it was a nice spot in the match. Fast forward, Wardlow pretends to have an injury. He lands kind of awkwardly, reversing the muscle buster. He lands kind of awkwardly. He's gingerly holding his knee. He works his way into the corner. Everybody's kind of leaning into it. But Joe, he doesn't necessarily give a damn about Wardlow's ankle. But Wardlow obviously was playing possum. And then he was able to gouge out Joe's eyes. Like he started to dive his thumbs into Joe's eyes. He then hit his knee in the corner for the 1-2 kick out. Ain't nobody ever kicks out of the knee. This is a big spot, and the announcers basically laid in on that fact. Wardlow was distraught. He hit a powerbomb. He possibly could have tried to get the pin, but then he went for the powerbomb symphony, which didn't necessarily work. Joe turned the powerbomb symphony into the coquina clutch, and when you lose air, when you lose circulation, you have no choice but to tap out, which or pass out. And Wardlow chose the pass out option. He left. I mean, he got knocked. He got downed. Samoa Joe is still your AEW champion, but he didn't have that much time to celebrate because a mad Swerve Strickland was beelining for the ring, making his way through security. He had a chain in his hand. He was gonna get Joe back for what he did last week. Man, as y'all continue to watch these reviews, y'all gonna know I love Swerve Strickland. He's gonna continue to get some stuff from me. You know, I can't wait till I get his hoodie. But Swerve came out there. He was looking at Joe, which means that it's super duper, quadruple, ultra real now. They did the little stare off. Joe left the ring, you know. Boom. That was the end of that. But great match. Well, a nice match for what it was. I don't know what Wardlow's gonna do after this, but I'm ready to see the aftermath of it. But I'm ready for Swerve Strickland to win that title. I'm ready. Our EVPs was then backstage, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, and the new joining Okada. They were backstage basically leading up into their match with Penta, Pac, and Eddie Kingston. And they also sung Matthew Jackson happy birthday. But as I stated, this led into the trios match that we were having, which is the three that I mentioned before and the three that I mentioned after. The Elite with Okada, or they're all the Elite now, and then versus taking on Pac, Penta, and Eddie Kingston. To start off the match, Okada was throwing a lot of mind games out there. Him and Eddie Kingston was going to start it off, but he immediately tagged out. And what this did was this set up a chain of every contestant in this trios match basically getting a tag in and showcasing their offense and what they really could do. And then whenever Penta and Pac was able to get into a ring, they was hitting a bunch of smooth double team moves. If you didn't know Pac was gone for a while, you wouldn't be able to tell. Like if you just came back after watching, you know, I don't know how long he's been gone. If you just came back and watched him, like, oh, he been flying high for the longest, you would not know he's been out with injury. And then he was just returning because these moves was smooth, they were crisp, I can't wait for a Pac and Will Ospreay match. Like these moves are Pac, the bastard Pac. But like I said, him and Penta was showcasing the double team moves on Matthew and Nicholas Jackson. And then it was able to get Eddie and Okada in the ring finally where they were standing face to face. Eddie was hitting a lot of hard hitting chops, a lot of hard hitting moves, and was able to basically get up, but that didn't last long. Okada then dropped him with a smooth drop kick. And they started to whoop Eddie Kingston ass. They started to jump this man with trio moves in the corner, keeping him away, isolating him, cutting off half of the ring. Eddie was getting worked until he was able to get the hot tag to Penta. Him getting the hot tag to Penta we was able to get a double dive from Penta and Pac. So the baby faces are up right now, basically riding high on momentum. Pac was able to then hit a amazing 450 splash off the top rope for the 1-2, and then it was broken up by Okada. At this point, trios had broke out into chaos. Everybody was in their room, in the ring, hitting their big moves. Like I said, trios matches extremely chaotic. Everybody was hitting their move, which left Okada standing with Eddie, and Eddie was by himself. He got distracted. He got kicked in the balls. After he got kicked in the balls, he got hit with the Rainmaker, and then Okada pinned him for the 1-2-3, the Elite win, and Okada dropped the title on Eddie Kingston, just basically letting him know, like, hey, he coming for that title. Okada is a great wrestler. His demeanor is awesome. He carries himself like he doesn't give a damn, but he'll kick you in your mouth. The Rainmaker, oh my goodness. Then the little coin drop at the beginning of his intro is again another chef kiss. But great match, great trios match is what you thought it was. I give it a good review for what it is. It's not mid, it's good. This was good. This AEW tonight was just smooth and brisk. What we did was we segued to the biggest bruv in the ring, and that's Will Ospreay. And he was very passionate on the mic. He said a lot. I can't emulate the passion that he was giving off, but he said he's ready for Bryan Danielson. He tried to emulate his career from Bryan Danielson, and that is the greatest wrestler of all time taking on the greatest wrestler up from this generation, and that he needs it more than Bryan Danielson. He wants it more than Bryan Danielson. Like, he said he had a couple good lines. He was like, everybody's throwing the phrase around, restore the feeling. And he was like, I am the feeling, bro. I am the feeling. And then he also said that it's your life versus mine, and I don't plan on dying. And then he was also showing respect to that man, Tony Schiavone, which is always a good deal. But his match and Bryan Danielson match is set for the 21st of April at Dynasty. And is by far, I'm sure, going to be the greatest match on that card. Like, that's going to be the greatest wrestling match that I've seen with my own eyes. And then we zoom backstage. Deonna Purrazzo was basically challenging, not basically, she was challenging Toni Storm and Mariah May. She said she was going to find a tag team partner, and they were going to fight on a 2-on-2. And then she said she's going to shove a shoe in Toni Storm's ass, which I think is unsanitary. Then we got Darby Allin taking on Jay White. Darby Allin basically killed himself this match. Not even gonna joke. Not even hyperbole. He came out, and a couple of weeks ago when he jumped through all that glass, he still got the marks on his back. He still got everything beating him up. So he's injured. They haven't closed. They was like he has lacerations in his back, but you wouldn't have guessed it because he came out and he was doing dives off the top rope. He's still trying to hit coffin drops. Like, this man, Darby Allin, was throwing his body into the wind, and you can see him wincing with every bit. And Jay White obviously wasn't making it no better. He was hitting back drops. He was hitting back breakers. He was hitting suplexes. He was throwing them inside. He was throwing them to the barricade. It was, oh my goodness. He was just throwing his body. We got a cool little spot when they was outside wrestling. He had set up the steel steps, and he threw Darby Allin over the steel steps into the barricade, which is pretty awesome, but pretty bad for Darby's back. I'm sure he has a couple of cracked ribs or something that wasn't helping out. But all in all, they was working his back the whole way, and Darby got a little overzealous, and he hit a coffin drop while Jay White was on the apron, and he landed all on the apron, which to my knowledge, and I've learned from the wrestling gods, that's the hardest part of the ring. He dove, boom, he beat the 10 count, but as soon as he got into the ring after the 10 count, he got hit with the Blade Runner 1-2-3. Jay White wins, and Darby Allin can now go to Mount Everest, but he can't go to Mount Everest without the beating that the Bullet Club Gold was laying on him, Austin and Colton Gunn. And Jay White, they was abusing him after the match. They were about to set up his ankle when the Acclaim, which is daddy ass Billy Gunn, Matt Caster, and Anthony Bowen came out to stop him. Anthony Bowen and Matt Caster was taking Darby Allin away. Daddy ass was still in the ring. He got hit with a chair. Acclaim got beat up. They got dropped. the Bang Bang Scissor Gang is no more. The Acclaim and the Bullet Club Gold has now officially broken up with that chair shot. And then Acclaim got laid out. Bullet Club Gold went out, got Darby, dragged him back in the ring, put his ankle in the chair, and still hit it with the bat. So the Acclaim saved nothing. The Acclaim broke up their group, and they didn't save what they was trying to save. But Darby Allin's gonna go away for a couple of weeks. I know he's gonna climb Mount Everest. I hope you are okay. I hope you make it back safe, because that is a detrimental thing. You prayers and wishes are with you, sir. But Bullet Club Gold was standing tall, and I think they're gonna try to combine the trios championship, but I honestly don't know. But I'm ready to see. I'm ready to see where everything goes. Lion Hook was then taking on the Gates of Agony next. Lion Hook consisted of Hook and Lionheart Chris Jericho taking on the Gates of Agony, because the Gates of Agony jumped them last week, and this was just a payoff for that match. But this match wasn't really much to write home about. The Gates of Agony started off pretty strong. Hook reversed the double team move. He then rammed the Gates of Agony into each other. And then we had a cool little spot where Hook locked in the Red Room, and Chris Jericho had locked in the Lion Tamer. They did it on the same person. Chris Jericho noticed the partner on the ring trying to get up. He hit him with a moonsault drop kick, or a springboard drop kick, and Hook was able to keep the hold in. He got the tap out victory, and Lion Hook wins their first match. But then we kind of segue to the back, and, moments later, and Hook got challenged by Chris Jericho next week. So next week, we're going to get Hook taking on Chris Jericho in a one-on-one match. I don't know if the FTW champion is on the line, but Hook should get the win, because I believe Chris Jericho is just going to give him the rub and keep Hook on TV, and we really appreciate that. And then we get main event time. First, we got a little video package about how Willow Nightingale beat Mercedes Moné for the championship in New Japan. So we're starting to plant those seeds, build that up, and get that in the way. But then our main event was Willow Nightingale taking on Riho. Riho beat Chris Statlander last week. This week it was Willow's turn, and Willow got out and got the jump. This was basically the classic tale of Power, who is Willow, Speed, who is Riho, and just kept that story going. Power was winning the battle first. Clotheslines, slams, getting tossed around. Willow was really working Riho for the beginning of the match. These are both nice wrestlers. Don't get me wrong. These are both nice wrestlers. But based off of the storyline and everything, you kind of knew who was gonna win, but you never really know. So the suspension is always up in the air. Riho Speed started the fights back. She was able to hit a 619 and a crossbody for the 1-2 kick out. At this point in the match, Riho is keep trying to lift up Willow. Like she hasn't got the health down enough to where she could just lift her up. But she was at this, she kept trying, and then she kept trying. But once you fail, you don't quit. You just keep going until you succeed. And then she was able to muscle up strength to hit a Northern Light suplex on Willow for the 1-2 kick out. And then it was the beginning of the end. Willow hit a flying nothing on the outside. She dove off the apron on Riho, who was on the outside. Riho moved out of the way, so she hit nothing but the ground. Riho then hit a dragon suplex on the apron, which is, again, the hardest part of the ring. And I want to say she was able to get inside the ring. She hit her patented stomp to the chest for the 1-2 kick out. Stuff is starting to heat up. It's starting to get real good. Willow was able to power up. At this point, she turned a surprise roll up into a power bomb. on Riho, which was an amazing move, an amazing sequence, and a transitional move. She hit it. She did the power bomb 1, 2, 3, and Willow won. She wasn't able to celebrate that long. We got another after match beatdown. Everything turned dark. You know when it gets dark, only one or two things are happening. The power is off, or somebody from the House of Black is coming. Julia Hart made her appearance. She was standing at the end of the ramp. Sky Blue attacked Willow from behind, and when they were about to hit Willow with the title, you already know CEO came out, Mercedes Moné came out for the save. She knocked out Sky Blue. She was standing toe to toe with Julia Hart. Julia Hart is gorgeous, is a gorgeous individual. Gorgeous, oh my goodness. But she was standing face to face from Julia Hart. She knocked her out, and then the baby faces at this point was left standing tall because Willow then raised Mercedes Moné, telling her welcome, and feel good to end AEW. This AEW this week was a pretty nice watch. They brought out a lot of good stuff, a lot of hard hitting for the Boston show. Nothing being bigger than Mercedes Moné. Good show overall. I'm ready for next week because next week is gonna have a lot of great wrestling in it. But can't go wrong with this week. I'm ready to see where everything goes. I appreciate you for tuning in. Don't forget to leave a like, share, subscribe, and then let me know what you thought about this week's AEW. Thank you for tuning in. I am Unknown Emperor signing off. You have a wonderful rest of your day. You have a wonderful rest of your week. I appreciate you.